holiday time.
It's not a holiday time for us, is it?
No,
Every day's a holiday for us. We're YouTubers. That's what everyone thinks.
They think. Anyway, we're actually in an area called Sai Kung
Yep.
here in Hong Kong.
Yep.
It's a very holiday vibe. You can rent yachts here, you know, you can take little trips out to the islands, you know,
Yeah.
go for a booze cruise or whatever.
It's a nice place.
Let's go take a walk down the pier and
Sure.
along the coast here and talk about holidays.
When I take your breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you.
Now, we're actually going to be talking about holidays in mainland China.
Right.
A lot of people might be interested in taking a little trip.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, visit China, you know?
Right.
So how much is it going to cost you to visit China? So that's what this is all about, because we've had a lot of experience.
For sure.
We've had 2 documentaries we put out about traveling across the entire China.
And the thing is, every day we have to do things that a normal person would do on a tour and a trip, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We go down here.
Yeah, we're going all the way to the end. We're going to fly some drones so that you can put it in the zone and people can see what this is all about.
This is getting meta.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing I want to say is that let's start with the cheap end.
Yeah.
So you come to China, you fly into Shanghai, let's just say that, right?
Okay, or Beijing.
Or Beijing, or Guangzhou, or whatever, first tier city. You get off the airplane, and obviously you're gonna have to book some accommodations, right?
Well, let's talk about it from the beginning, like actually getting to...
Oh, we're going right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, your plane ticket to here is, depending on where you're coming from, it's going to cost you whatever, like
$1,000.
say $1,000,
Yeah, round trip.
okay? Unless you're flying from Thailand or something, then it's really cheap.
Well, let's pretend like people are flying from like California.
Like, yeah,
or
from an actual first world country. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so $1,000
$1,000. Okay.
Now, to get to your accommodation, which you've pre-booked hopefully,
Yeah.
taxi is going to probably be somewhere in the region of about between 30 and 120 RMB.
Yeah. So we're talking $5 to $25.
Yeah.
I'll do the US dollar translation.
Remember to take a real taxi. Now listen, okay, I've made a video about these black taxis. Last week, a subscriber came to visit me in Shenzhen. He's watched my video about taxi scams, and he still got scammed.
Right.
You know why? Because the security guard, dressed as a policeman, because they do,
Yeah.
the uniforms are almost identical.
Yeah.
When
They
the
look serious.
taxi touts were like, taxi, taxi,
Right.
and he'd watch my video and he was like, no, no, no. But then the security guard came up and said, no, he's real taxi.
Right.
So because they work together.
Right. So he's duped.
He got charged 150 RMB
Right.
to go like 2 kilometers, which normally costs like 12 RMB.
Oh boy.
So that's like 10 times as much.
Poor dude.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, anyone could fall for it, but just take real taxis with real meters that are painted, you know, and says taxi on it. And
Right.
has a thing on the top. Anyway.
If you see a black guy driving a taxi, don't go with him. We should
No.
probably say what black taxis
Black
are.
taxi just means like a haze means
It's not
an
licensed.
underground,
Right.
unlicensed fake taxi.
Right. Anyway, let's assume that they didn't get scammed.
Okay, so then you got like, you know, whatever. That's
Yeah,
how much
spend
it
like
costs.
$5 to $30 on your taxi. Next,
Hotel.
you're gonna go to the hotel. So you're gonna go cheap, right?
Yeah, we're doing cheap now. This is our
Well,
cheap.
let's just do everything, right?
We'll do it. We'll start with cheap, then we'll go expensive. So
Okay,
you
so-
say cheap, I'll say expensive.
So you go to a cheap hotel. We've done a series on this actually, but if you want to go super cheap, you're going to be spending about 100 RMB on a hotel. And usually these are going to be like sub-business hotels.
Yeah.
So you'll see chains like 7 Days Inn and Home Inn. These are the second tier, I would say. The lowest tier are the ones that have only Chinese names.
Yes, but a lot of them you can't stay in if you're a foreigner.
True.
You have to bear that in mind.
Assuming you can, you're going to be paying about $15 to $20 a night.
Yeah.
If you're going to the mid-range hotels, you're going to pay about 200, so you're paying about $30 to $50 a night.
Sure.
And then what about the
Well,
good ones?
You can go to good ones, like we went to that Sheraton, which
Sure.
turned out to be a pile of garbage.
Right.
There you're paying a lot. There you're paying like $150, $200 a night,
Or
$300.
Shangri-La, maybe 500.
Yes, you know, there's a Hyatt right near where I live. It costs 2,000 plus RMB a night.
Yeah.
You know?
So there you go, right? $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Next, so that's your first night, right? That's where you're staying. But let's talk about meals. Cheap. You're gonna go all the way down. You're gonna go to a place called Pac-Man or an equivalent. And Pac-Man is this weird
Or just street food.
Xiaxian Xiaochi, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like a little snack shop, but they have noodles, they have chicken legs, they have eggs and this kind of stuff, or street food. You're gonna be paying about $2 for your meal.
Yeah, listen, you can actually go to a proper restaurant, like a Cantonese canteen if you're down south, you know, Cha San.
Right.
you can have a meal for like 30 RMB.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
like they call it a lunch box or a
$5.
rice box or whatever, you know, so
Right.
it's going to be rice, vegetables and meat,
Right.
and it'll be 30 RMB. You can
Right.
get it for even 20 or 15 or whatever.
Up north, you're going to pay even less.
Yeah.
For better food too. Dongbei
Yes,
food tastes
yes,
way better. But if you want to go high end, you can actually spend a lot. So if you go to a restaurant that you're going to have to book, or a restaurant that is, you know, a little bit higher up there, usually in like a hotel banquet hall or
Yeah.
like a buffet, you're going to spend anywhere from 200 to 500 RMB.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we're talking about, you know, $30 to $100 for a meal. You can easily do that.
Yes, you can.
So there you go. That's your first day in different classes, right? Now, traveling. Let's say, okay, you're done. You're like, Shanghai, I've seen you.
Yeah.
I want to go to Guangzhou now, right?
Right.
How are you going to do it?
Well, you can take a high-speed train, which, by the way, I'm not going to joke, high-speed train's actually better than taking the plane in China
Okay.
for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's quicker. Does that make sense?
Yes, because
Okay.
there's no delays.
Yeah. Planes are always delayed, like
Always.
90%.
100% time for me.
Well, you know, when I got delayed last time, I was complaining to my wife, and she looked up the statistics. It's China Southern was the one that was delayed.
Sure. Very common. airline.
13% of all their flights
Right.
are on time.
13. Not 30, 13.
Those are the only ones that are on time, okay?
87% of the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, you're going to get delayed.
Right.
You have to do the whole check-in thing, you know,
Right.
you have to go check in your bags and do all that nonsense and wait at the airport. All said and done, by the time you actually take off and land, you would have already arrived because there are no wait times, there are no delays with the high-speed rail.
Right.
Okay.
So in reality, it's
cheaper
actually
too.
cheaper. However, that's the mid-range, right?
Yeah.
The cheap way to do it, if you
Oh.
want to, and that's the slow train. The slow trains go everywhere in China, to every tiny little town. That's the advantage over
Yes.
the high-speed rail. So if you wanted to go to some place like Guangzhou, you could get off in every province in tiny little places, pretty
Yeah.
much willy-nilly whenever you want.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be paying, I'm not even joking, like $10 to get across the country sometimes.
No, it's crazy cheap. Not only that, you've got those sleeper buses.
Right.
Those things are stupid cheap as well, but they're incredibly
Oh
uncomfortable.
my God, they're like a metal, you have like a metal thing that you sleep in basically. And you
Also,
can
they
kind of
just-
crunch up in it.
They randomly stop at random places for extended periods of time.
I hate those,
You've
dude.
got like farmers bringing chickens on them and stuff.
Right, that's another way to get around though.
Yeah, but it is like we're talking now the very low end are these non-air conditioned
Yeah,
buses which go everywhere as
I
well.
hate those.
Depends on the province, obviously.
For sure.
Each province has its own different kind of buses.
Of course.
But you get these long-range sleeper buses which are very uncomfortable, but they're very cheap.
Right,
Yeah, so you can get. Let me give you an example. Most people that come to the south of China, they want to go to Yangshuo. Okay, Guilin, Yangshuo. That's
yeah,
where you get those
Guangxi.
beautiful karst mountains. It's like a backpacker hippie paradise.
Right,
It's in all the Lonely Planet guides. It's
Yeah.
you know, you go there and it is beautiful,
it is.
but it's full of like hostels and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
really really cheap.
Budget, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when I took the sleeper buses. I had actually gone up there.
Me
to
too,
Go,
I've done that.
I went to go fix a motorcycle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, I went to go fetch a motorcycle that I thought was fixable. I took the high-speed rail there,
Right,
and it took like, I don't know, 4 hours or something on the high-speed rail.
right,
It was really, really quick.
right.
You're gonna go,
Oh, I'm just
okay.
chilling. It's a nice little
Yeah.
ocean view.
So I took the high-speed rail all the way there, right? And it was actually a very pleasant experience. Got there, messed around with the bike, it's completely destroyed, couldn't fix it. So I couldn't ride back. Ended up taking one of the sleeper buses because it was the only thing I could take at night.
Right,
It was like half the price,
Right.
or whatever, as the high-speed rail, even less.
Right.
It was something stupid like 60 RMB,
yeah,
but it was horrible. It took 3 times as long.
right.
Stopped in random places.
12 hours, I remember.
Yeah, you're stuck there with all these weird like farmers with their bags of whatever they're carrying.
Sometimes it's like manure and stuff, like
people
bad
like picking
shit.
their feet, and
Right.
you know it's just disgusting, noisy, smells bad. And it's a terrible experience, but it's cheap. So if you're kind of in for this kind of grotty backpacker adventure, you could get across
Go
China
for the
really
go
cheap.
for the hard sleepers on the train or the long distance buses if you really want to see what's up. I think the trains are better though because you get to talk to people on the way. And people are playing cards, and a lot of times they'll give you a drink and stuff. If you want to be like first time China noob experience, it can be entertaining. That's
It
for
can
sure.
be, but at the same time, remember, a lot of the times it's standing room only.
That
and,
too.
you know, especially if you're here during holiday times, don't ever travel here during Chinese
Oh
holiday
my
times.
God, please don't.
You will be stuck standing for like a 12-hour
Sure.
train ride, and
Not to
there's no
mention,
sitting.
not to mention, there's a lot of petty thieves thieves on these trains. A lot of my friends have lost their bags and wallets and stuff like that.
If you fall asleep, you'll wake up missing stuff.
It happens.
Yeah.
There's not too much control. What about the expensive way to get around? Would be first class flights, which are actually not too expensive. Like domestic flights aren't. Actually, they can be a little bit pricey. Yeah.
I would say taxis. Okay, you can hire cars. You can actually hire cars if you get off
limousine service.
Yeah, if you get off here into Shenzhen from Hong Kong, you'll get people over there saying Guangzhou. They'll drive you to Guangzhou.
Right.
It's going to cost you hundreds of RMB, but it'll be comfortable. You know.
Some people that come on with their companies, they'll pay for that stuff, so it's not too worry. Now that's pretty much the be all and end all of how much it's going to cost you for your trip. But the things to look out for are scams, like you mentioned, and also I would say my worth it winner, my top pick here would be to go the middle route. You're not going to pay that much more in compared to budget travel, and you're going to have a really good experience.
Yeah.
The threshold between a really expensive vacation and a really cheap vacation isn't huge.
No,
it isn't huge.
I mean, just watch that video we did about the 2-star hotel.
Get a good idea.
It was incredibly good. Okay, we had a fantastic time, and it was cheap.
Right.
You know. Okay, let's give like a ballpark figure of how much, like, let's say a 1-week holiday traveling around China is going to cost you. So let's see, a cheap one. Don't forget, you have to pay for a visa as well.
Yeah.
So depending on your country, I think Americans,
$200 to $500.
Yeah, Americans have to pay quite a lot for visas these
Almost
days.
$500, I think.
Yeah. So it depends, and you do need a visa. It doesn't really matter where you come from. You know, maybe some countries like North Korea don't.
Let's pretend like that doesn't exist.
Everybody needs a visa. Okay, so you have to pay for your visa, obviously a plane ticket to get you. But then once you're here, you could probably spend a week, and I'd say spend less than 5,000 RMB.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
I was going to say a good cheap estimate for 1 week in China with a plane ticket and a visa, $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah, and that's
all in.
Everything, meals, sightseeing, you know, the works.
I'm going to say middle range. Middle range, I'm going to say, oh, we got a crowd of young ladies that are. Middle range, I would say between $2,000 and $5,000. I have a really nice time.
Yeah.
And probably $5,000 to $10,000 on the top end with flights and stuff.
Sure.
You know, like hopping around.
Absolutely. Cool.
Pretty much it. We should probably fly the drone. It's very beautiful around here. Nice ocean.
Yeah, it's nice and windy as well. Let's hope we don't lose it.
Let's
anyway.
try.
Yeah, anything you want to say to our subscribers before we sign off?
Whether you consider yourself a cheap, middle class, or a rich man, or woman, or somewhere in between. I don't know what people are saying these days. I implore you to go downstairs and say, talk about your travel experiences. If you've been to China, how much did it cost you, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the caveats and problems and tips that you can give to other people that want to do the same thing? And if you didn't come here and you're interested in coming here, where do you want to go?
Sure.
If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, between the two of us, we've both done incredibly pikey, cheap, pay almost nothing trips, and also very expensive trips around China. And it can be done on a shoestring budget. It absolutely can. You can do the backpacker hippie thing if you really are so inclined. But you can also really go all out and spend way too much money on posh
The market's
things.
there.
Yeah, it is. So, you can really have fun either way. So whether you're a posh wanker or you're like a backpacking hippie,
Wanker.
we love you all the same. I think a hippie is a wanker.
Yeah, well, it's kind of implied.
Sorry, no, I mean, actually,
How many people identify as hippies?
I've got some friends actually.
They would call themselves that.
Yeah, I guess
Fair enough.
They wear tie-dye t-shirts.
Okay, that's still a thing.
Listen to the
They
Grateful
play
Dead.
Pogs.
No,
Okay.
who plays Pogs?
I don't know. Anyways, go.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, and we love you all the same. So until next time, stay awesome.